This is Chosen Bath and Body, a 100% natural skincare and wellness company. We have soaps such as charcoal, lavender, lemongrass, turmeric. Come to the quiet place where you can honor the womb through the practice of yoni steaming. We also have a variety of services as well, such as Reiki, sound therapy, tuning fork healings, and womb detoxes. Come to the quiet place and heal with Chosen.
We interrupt this episode for very important information.
That's right. You've been asking for it for a long time, and we have heard you.
Yep, it's been a long time coming, but it's finally here.
Yo,
aunties
got merch! Hey! That's right. You know what? We got tees, we got long tees, we got sweatshirts, we got fanny packs, there's just a whole gamut of stuff out there, so go ahead.
Bitch, why the fan favor to set it off?
Girl, there was a rat running out there.
A whole rat.
Yeah, a whole rat.
This is Wall. Everybody in the world to see. He had 3 comments.
Oh, hell no. What the fuck?
Honestly, you're doing shit that people want to do. Like, wait, you know how many people out here rapping for the BQ?
So she got been through a lie, and you need to lead with that. Because you come off with the attitude, and then if I snatch you by your throat, then I'm wrong. It took everything in me to snatch that bitch by them point-toe ass shoes, that big ass hat, and them tight ass jeans she had on right where she stood at.
Hey there, this is Terrance Styyles, cast member of, guess what? You know it is. Set it off. Atlanta, ATL. So I'm coming before you because there is a new show that I have executive produced. It's a talk show. It's called The Manual. I have now been able to have a platform where I'm able to show this talk show that I have recorded a few years ago, and I just had it shelved because I needed to find the right opportunity and the right platform to showcase it. So now is the time for me to showcase The Manual. I want to thank everyone who was involved during the time of filming The Manual. I appreciate the time that you've put in. This was not an easy project, but I made it happen. So I want everyone to enjoy The Manual. It's a 7-week episodes that I'll be showing, 7 weeks of episodes. So I want you to check it out. It's still relevant to today. I've even included some females in an episode. So for all you ladies, I did not leave you out. So I thank you so much for supporting not only just Set It Off, not only me, but also I want you to support The Manual. I want you to like it. I want you to comment. I want you to share. It is something to watch. All right. And if you enjoy it and you want me to come back with more episodes, please, by all means, hit me up and let me know. And I'm sure that we can probably make that happen. All right. So thank you so much for watching all 7 episodes of The Manual. Take care. Peace. Hi, I'm your host Terrance Styyles, and you're watching The Manual, a show created for men from all walks of life to discuss what we endure during our lifetime. So this particular episode is called The Art of Dating. Ha! So we have a special guest with us, Lamont Scales from Better Way to Meet. So Donald, Rig, Mike, and I will have a great discussion about dating in the LGBTQ community. So we're gonna go right into this. It's gonna be a good one.
That's why we're black.
Lamont, such a pleasure for you to be with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So please, let's just go right into how did Better Way to Meet start?
So a good friend and I, we got together. We just looked at the dating scene here in Atlanta, and we're like, it's really hard to meet guys unless you go to a bar, a club, or you get on an app, right? Mm-hmm. So we said, why don't we make a way for guys to connect? So we started an old-fashioned matchmaking company. So that means I meet with guys face to face. I get a feel for who they are, what they're looking for, and then I send them on a date.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you personally feel that there was something missing within the LGBTQ community when it came to dating personally yourself to make you go into this adventure of having matchmaking service?
Oh, definitely. So my background, I'm a therapist. So my undergrad and my master's are in counseling. So I've done counseling with gay men and couples for many years.
Okay.
But when guys come to me or couples come to me, it's when they have challenges. So I said, why don't I get guys on the front end and kind of coach them into how you get into a good relationship. So that way, and I think we didn't have that growing up as far as like role models. Right. How do you date another guy? So that's why I guess I love teaching guys how to do that.
Interesting. Yeah. So guess what, people? Someone on this panel has actually endured in the Better Way to Meet. Y'all want to know who it was? So Donald. So you had the pleasure
I did.
of, incorporating yourself into Better Way to Meet. So would you like to go down that line of how that all happened and maybe how that transpired for you?
Spill the tea.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
It sort of pours out of what he just already said, basically, because it's, I think it's, especially if you're a professional and you have a lot of time being divided, amongst your career and living, especially here in the ATL, if you're not meeting somebody at work, which is not, always the best thing to do. It's a hard pill to have to swallow. So I reached out to Lamont. He sent me on a date, and he's really hands-on because he called me at home as I was getting ready.
Yes. What you wearing?
And he said, "What are you wearing?" And I sort of held the phone like, "What do you mean?"
Tell us. He don't know who you are.
But no, I thought that it was interesting. He wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be too fashion forward at a relaxed setting. So we were meeting at a bowling alley.
No, okay. Because we were overdressed for something.
Yes,
quick.
I didn't even know the place existed.
I know, but to other people it's overdressed. Like, child, you just going to a basketball court. Why? So why you play basketball?
So we did have a convo about that because I told Dawn, I said, I want the guy to see you and not everything else.
Got it.
Right.
So that we do customized like coaching.
Wow. So you go in deep down to the root, to the bone marrow.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is that's needed in our community.
Absolutely.
I have dated a lot of people, and none of those past relationships have been successful because, like he said, we've not been given those type of tools on how to date in the same sex. And many times where we make our biggest mistake is we try to place heterosexual norms on homosexual relationships, and that never works.
Right.
So I think that's a great service, and to find out that you're that hands on. When I first heard about Better Way to Meet, I asked Lamont. I said, well, are you in a relationship?
Right.
That was my first question. Didn't I ask you
Yes,
that?
you did.
I
Yes,
did
you
ask
did.
you that.
Yes.
And what was your response at that time?
I said, yes, I have a partner.
Yes.
And we have children.
Yes.
All of it. Yeah, we're a big old family.
Yeah, and I was sold because I was like, well, if you're making it, you're doing something that
was going to be my next question. Because I'm like, well, if you ain't got nobody, what makes you think I'm a better way to meet somebody? You ain't got nobody. You need to use your own services. But that's neither here nor there because he's with someone, so it's all right. So, Rick, I feel something coming up your spirit, your pores. What you need to say?
I mean, I'll be devil's advocate.
Okay.
I acknowledge that there are some challenges that you expressed in terms of same gender loving or gay, depending on how you identify and use that term. But at its core, isn't dating difficult anyway, regardless of where you fall on the spectrum?
I think dating, period, it is difficult. However, when you have two men in a relationship, we didn't have role models to say, hey, how do I court you? How do I romance, another guy.
Movie, soul food.
Those were definitely
right. Those weren't good examples of relationship. Those are
Dream
No. So like, how do you court? How do you flirt? Do you open the door for another guy? Do you not? You know, how do you make another guy feel appreciated? So those are things that we work on. And I think growing up, I didn't have that. I don't know about any of you. If you saw
We was
gay
too
men
busy saying we was going to hell, so they
Right, yeah, we
right. Or your uncle's friend came over and it's just his friend,
Right.
And
they were open with it.
Right.
Yeah. So then, okay.
Yeah.
And
so it's a little harder for us, I feel like.
I can accept that. And, I appreciate the fact that there is something like Better Way to Meet out there because I think a lot of guys do need some coaching.
Absolutely.
But in terms of if you were freshly re-engaged and wanting to date, what type of universal best practice would you give to a average ATL guy?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would say have fun. I feel like guys, when they go on a date, they try to make it like a job interview, and I think that is horrible. Or they'll ask questions like, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?"
Financially independent.
I just mentioned 10 minutes ago.
Right? No, it's really let your hair down, go do a fun activity, see if there's chemistry, see if there's body language there. Those are things you're supposed to do on a first or second date.
So when someone such as Donald, came to you to partake in this this matchmaking service, what things did you tell him not to do?
Oh, so I tell my guys, you can do anything you want on a first date, but there are 4 rules I ask guys not to do.
Okay.
One is not to talk about their income, like how much money they make. That's something you don't bring up on your first date.
Okay.
I ask guys not to talk about their HIV or STD status on the first date. I feel like that's a second or third date question. Not to talk about your sexual positions, like who's a top, who's a bottom. Yes. You will figure that out.
Probably as you're
you figure that out.
Don't get it twisted.
You didn't even let me finish. I was going to say, but you may be surprised what you thought and really what you thought when you thought it, but you didn't have it because you didn't think it right.
Yeah.
Right, because I don't want guys to put themselves in a box. Like, no, don't talk about that. And then also don't talk about your ex-boyfriend. Because I don't want your ex to occupy that first date.
Oh, Lord. And I think all of those things are so important because, again, we don't know how to actually go about doing this. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people who are in successful relationships that I have seen in our community, they learn through trial and error. Mm-hmm. And so by the time they actually get with someone who is a person that could be a good match for them, sometimes they're so broken and so hurt that they're not even able to actually look. Like for me, for my example, I know that I have learned a lot through trial and error that could have just been avoided if I would have taken time to, to listen and to take advice. So, I mean, I'm grateful now that I'm in the place that I'm in, but I could have done a lot better if I would have had it.
Yeah, I tell guys, like, if you've dated here in Atlanta for more than a year or two, it can make you a little jaded. Like, guys can disappoint you, and that is totally normal. So what I do is I really work with guys just to kind of polish them off, get them back to kind of reliving life and kind of wanting to date again and just want to connect with a guy.
So this E word keeps coming up in conversations that I've had with different types of people, and it's expectations. I'm just going to point out Atlanta because this is where we live, that I think a lot of times people have expectations of other people they go on dates with. And also for people that they sleep with. And what I've said before is that penetration leads to expectations.
That's so good.
Yes, that's what I feel in my spirit.
Like you expect them to call you expect them to date.
Like you expect penetration to happen again. I'm not saying for everybody.
For most people.
I'm saying for some people.
Damn.
I'm just saying.
You are
some
unique.
people.
I can testify to that because as someone who's top, most of them, not all, but 99% of them have always expected more just because you said
Now, this is kind of weird. I mean, weird. It's just a bit, it's not odd. I don't know what to call it, but this is my thing. Whatever umbrella we meet under,
what are we? Like communication. Like, so if you're having sex on the first night, you know, I feel like.
I mean, just call me the whore. Okay.
No judgment. No judgment. But I just feel like it should be there should be some communication. Like, hey, what is this? Are we just hooking up or are we dating?
How many times have people had a conversation about that?
So, and that's the problem.
It's called a hookup for a reason. Shut your mouth, there you go, and take it. Or give it to me.
You got that.
And the room went silent.
No, I just feel like, okay, Joe, Rick is on, here comes. I think there's a difference between people having sex and people just trying to fuck the couple.
Yeah.
I said the word fuck, I can say fuck. Okay. And I think if a person is in a place of scarcity, specifically a place of scarcity, then if they're dating and having sex with a person, because they're trying to position themselves in a whatever part of their life, whatever they're riding, I guess. But if you're in a place of like stability, and like you said, being a meeting, if I just look it up, then child, bye. You know, I'm not making you breakfast. Right. You can't get
That's why I said some.
and I'll call you when it is.
But that's one of the reasons why I respect Lamont's business, because at the end of the day, this is not an act. This is a genuine effort.
It's old fashioned.
It's a genuine effort that someone has to give in order to be able to meet that next person. And then there's a process. Like, I value process. I think process is important, and I think it is very necessary to have process during these times. But I also noticed that in our community, we are quick to rush the process once we get with someone. Immediately, and I've been guilty of this, immediately we want to go from date to commitment to marriage. And like, we don't know these people. I'm guilty, y'all. We don't know these people. We have not spent time with these people. We don't know their family. We don't know their history. We just know that they're cute, that they got a nice body, that maybe the sex was amazing, but we don't know them. We don't know their character. We don't know how they act under pressure. We don't know how their attitude is. And we are quick to make commitments to people and then find out that the people that we once liked, that we now hate. And we're stuck in relationships that don't lead to anything.
I always come from the train of thought, when I'm dating anybody, I'm in a relationship now, and I love him boots. I told him when we were first dating, there are 4 things I cannot give you. I can't give you love, I can't give you loyalty, I can't give you commitment, I can't give you trust. They have to be grown. Because they're like flowers.
That's right, you gotta earn it.
Those that are grown last much longer than those that are given.
I agree.
All right. On that note, this is a good conversation. Thank you so much, Lamont, for coming through and talking about Better Way to Meet. Can you tell our viewer audience how they can find you, get in contact with you?
Sure, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, Instagram, Better Way to Meet, and we're our website, betterwaytomeet.com.
And you have upcoming events, correct?
We do speed dating events, single nights. You can find out all about that on our website.
And I have been to one, and they were wonderful.
They're lots of fun.
This plug.
I paid him.
I just want to say that you can't lose what you never had. Can't keep what doesn't belong to you.
Right.
And can't hold on to somebody that doesn't want to stay. Point blank in the period. On that note, remember to create your own manual instead of copying what's already written. I'm Terrance Styyles. See you next time on the manual.